So this is one of my batch prepped salads. So you guys, I make 14 of these in 30 minutes once a week. 7 for my husband, 7 for myself, because one meal a day is a salad. And so what I do is I buy the pre-washed, the triple washed greens. And what I have figured out is that I need to use kale, arugula, and spinach. So I've
Mm.
tried spring mix, I've tried romaine, I've tried leaf lettuce. Those wilt and go bad quickly. The sturdier greens, kale, spinach, and arugula are a little bit thicker and heartier, and they last longer. And so that's the base underneath here. And I have a video on my YouTube channel where you guys can see me. I actually made them live one day
Yes, yes, I
in
remember
30
that.
minutes
That was good.
because
Yeah.
people said there's no way you can do that and there's no way they last, but they do. Then I buy a head of red cabbage and I just cut it into chunks. I buy the little salad tomatoes and I put those in and they do go in the refrigerator and they do not get mealy. These do not get mealy. A big tomato would, but these do not. Then I also have shredded carrots. I normally also have broccoli slaw, but I couldn't find broccoli slaw that had a good date when I made these over the weekend. And then I do red onion. So I take red onion and slice it. And so that is the base of my salad. And when I'm at the store and I'm looking at the prepackaged greens that I purchase, I look at the expiration date on them. So if it's November 1st, I know that I need these salads to last for 7 days because when I get home from the store, I'm going to make them. I have to have them last for 7 days. That expiration date has to be 7 or more days out. If not, they're not going to last. So then I put them in these containers. If things are a little bit damp, which even in those pre-washed bags, triple washed bags, sometimes they're damp. If so, I will take a paper towel and I will line the bottom of this container with a paper towel. If they're really wet, I'll lay the greens out on a kitchen towel and let them dry a bit, and I'll roll the towel up to help them dry. But normally they're pretty dry and they, do a good job. And these will last, sometimes they'll even last like 9 days. If like something happens to our schedule and we end up going out to eat or something and we don't
Right,
get to
right.
eat the salad. But that's what I do. And that way these are ready to go. We just go to the fridge and pull one out. And then we like to chop this. So we have a wood bowl and we have a mezzaluna
Hmm.
knife and we like to chop it up. It makes it easier to eat because, kale is pretty sturdy.
Right,
Find
right.
a big chunk in here, but kale is, it's a lot to chew. This is a lot to chew.
Yes.
But if you chop it up, then it makes it a lot easier to eat. Plus, it just tastes better because then every bite has all the delicious flavors of everything that's in here. And then I'll add my starch to it, whether that's rice or quinoa or oat groats or potatoes or sweet potatoes, or sometimes a combination of several of those. And I can add beans to it. And then I can flavor it differently every day if I want to. I can take a falafel patty and make it into a Mediterranean salad. I love Mexican food. And so I'll heat up black beans, corn, and rice and put it on top of my chopped salad. And I'll take corn tortillas and crisp them up. I'll cut them in strips and crisp them up in my air fryer and then sprinkle those over the top. They're oil free, but they're crunchy. And I'll have the best taco salad, you guys.
Uh-huh.
And
Yes,
you can
yes.
use salsa for your dressing. I have like, I think 3 or 4 different salsa recipes on my blog. I love to make a mango salsa or a tomato one. And, I can change the flavor up. I love California balsamic vinegars. They come in a variety of flavors. And so I can add sun-dried, oil-free sun-dried tomatoes to it and garlic and have it be, an Italian, do some white beans and some fresh basil. I mean, so because we've been eating a salad every day for one of our main meals since 2013.
Right, right. And let me tell you that once you chop that salad, like you're saying, once you chop it really small, it condenses. I mean, it gets a lot smaller in volume because someone is asking here if that container is for two people. No, that's for one. I know it looks big, but believe me, you chop it and it's gonna be like half of that.
Yeah, so I used to make them about 12 ounces because people asked, and so I just weighed them. Now, and that was, years ago, I was making them about 12 ounces. Now, because as we're getting older, I'm 65, my husband is 70, we don't need to eat as much as we did 11 years ago. And so now I weighed it and it's about 9 ounces now. But yeah, it totally reduces the volume of it as well. So this looks really big when I put it in my bowl. But then after I chop it, here I might have a picture here. After I chop it, it reduces the volume. And people have any kind of like problems with their teeth or TMJ or anything like that. They write to me and tell me once they started chopping the salads, then they could really enjoy them because they're so much easier to chew. And you can choose what you put in it. You don't have to do the exact same things that I do, but just know that those are the greens that I have found that hold up the best. So romaine is like not as bad as leaf lettuce and spring mix. But it will oxidize. Is that the right word? They'll turn brown on the edges, not oxidize.
Right.
Yeah. Oxidize. I can't think of the right word. But anyway, let's see.
Well, but you could have, let's say, we could have some lettuce in the refrigerator, and maybe 1 day or 2 days, you could add some lettuce to it.
Yeah. So Tom really likes spring mix, and so I do have spring mix that we buy and just keep a container of it in the refrigerator, and then he adds that to it. Okay, so here you go. Here's some of my salads. I mean, they can just be absolutely gorgeous with all kinds of things on them. And I like to add fruit to my salads as well because they add a little bit of sweetness. They add moisture because they have a high water content in them. And then you can use less dressing. Now, for oil-free dressings, I have an oil-free ranch. I have oil-free Caesar. I have a creamy balsamic that uses beans in it. And even my friends who aren't plant-based make that salad dressing and serve it to their families, which that just like warms my heart, because the base of it is beans, but it's so delicious. And so I have a lemon dill dressing. You guys really check out my blog and take advantage of all of those recipes. And then I have a video course and an ebook all about the chopped salads as well. And you can use that same discount code Nutmeg30 to get that as well. Because the salads are for us, that really helped me lose weight, and it helps me maintain that weight loss. And they say that we should get, I think Dr. Bolshewitz says that we should aim to get 32 different plants in every week. I can do that in 1 day because that salad has so many different plants in it. Plus I add, all the extra things to it. And in 1 day, I can get 32 different plants in my body in 1 day. That's easy. And I'm sure you do that too, Gustavo.
That's right. So that salad, when you add the starch, that can actually be a meal in itself. But what
Absolutely.
if you decided, let's say that I'm going to have a really starchy meal like mashed potatoes and corn and something else, then I could just eat a salad without starch to like preload and get all the fiber and water and the volume. And then I can have my starchy meal. What do you think about that?
Absolutely. And so, I know that you've been to True North a number of
Hmm.
times. And I've been there to visit friends. And Tom and I have spent the night before too, but we haven't water fasted. But what's interesting is when you go into the cafeteria at True North, everything in there is set up according to calorie density. So,
Hmm.
and that's the way that we should approach eating our meals. So, calorie density is simply the amount of calories that are in a certain set amount weight of food. So, let's say like a pound. So, a pound of non starchy vegetables is somewhere between 60 and 100 calories. And they're full of fiber and water, and they really bulk up our meals for the lowest amount of calories. Plus, they're super nutrition. So, like the healthiest foods also happen to be the lowest calorie density foods. And at True North, when you go in there, the first thing is salad and some raw veggies to put on it. And then as you go around the food tables, the calorie density increases as you go around. So then you'll find the starch dishes, and you'll find the cooked beans and the soups and all of that. And so what Gustavo was talking about is eating sequencing your meal according to calorie density. And I have a video about that on my YouTube channel. If you were to Google nutmeg notebook calorie density, you'll find that video. And so that's a really great way to not overeat, is to start your meal with the lowest calorie density thing, which could be the salad without any starch added to it. It could also be a brothy soup, which I'll at the end of the week, I'll go to my refrigerator and I will find all the little bits and pieces of stuff that
Yeah,
I have left over,
right.
right? Zucchini, carrots, celery, all of, cabbage, all of that. I'll put it in the Instant Pot with a couple cans of tomatoes, no salt added, fire roasted tomatoes, and some vegetable broth, and add some onions and mushrooms, and just clean out that refrigerator and make a really wonderful brothy soup. And you can add some seasonings to it like onion powder, garlic powder. I like to just kind of keep it at that. Then after it's cooked, which only takes like 5 minutes or so in the Instant Pot, then I'll divide that up and into 2-cup containers, and I'll freeze it. That brothy veggie soup is a great starter to a meal. And then if I want to make it, kind of Southwest, I can add chili powder and cumin to it. If I want it to be Italian, I'll add basil and some oregano, so I can flavor it differently. And that's why I leave it kind of neutral when I cook it. But you can start with that. And when you eat that, especially a brothy soup, you're getting all that water in there. And that
Oh,
just
yeah,
helps
yeah.
to activate those stretch receptors in our tummies that tell our brain, hey, we're getting full down here. We don't have room for all that. And then that means then you'll have less room for the higher calorie density foods that you're about to eat. And if I start with eating the potatoes first, I'm probably going to overeat on the potatoes. Now, the potatoes are certainly very, very healthy, and they're not, high calorie density unless I air fry them and I've taken out some of that water. But I can overeat on those. But if I have that salad or I have that brothy soup first, then there's going to be less room for the higher calorie density food. So that's just one way that you can keep the volume of your food to be the same, but reduce your overall caloric intake. And so years ago, when I bought my first air fryer, I was making French fries in it all the time. So I would take my cold potatoes, I'd cut them up, I'd put them in the air fryer. And Tom and I, oh, we were just in heaven. Oh my gosh,
Ooh,
to have these
yeah.
oil-free French fries. Well, in the first month after having gotten it, I gained 5 pounds. So I was talking to AJ, Chef AJ, about it. And she said, well, how many French fries are you eating? And I said, oh, because the Breville air fryer makes a huge tray full. And I said, oh, I'm
The
filling that
whole
whole
thing.
tray. And she said, no, 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 no. She said, only take the size of potato you would normally eat, cut that into French fries, and that is your serving size. And she said, and are you eating your salad or your vegetables first? And I was like, oh no, once we start eating those potatoes, we just eat the whole tray.
Right, right.
And so that was really, that was proof for me that I needed to sequence my meals and, concentrate on eating the lowest calorie density goods that are on my plate to begin with, and then go for the starch. So it's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
crazy.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you, Tammy. I know we've taken a lot of time from you, so thank you. I really appreciate it, and I want everybody to visit your social media because you have great videos and classes and recipes. And I know a lot of us, I include myself, I struggle sometimes to eat salads because of the salad dressings. I have gotten better. Now I can have just lemon, juice or lime juice or balsamic vinegar. But at the beginning, I needed that ranch dressing or something different. So you have wonderful salad dressings. And anyway, just want to
Thank you. Thank you,
encourage
Gustavo.
everybody
Well, I
to
just encourage you all to make this holiday season a really great one for you. You can, start out the new year feeling good if you eat healthy between now and then. And just know that, you're not focus on what you're gaining and not what you're giving up, because health truly is our greatest wealth. And there's no bite, taste, lick of anything that can equal how feeling good in your own skin feels. And so just keep that in mind and have a wonderful, healthy, and happy holiday season, everybody.
Well, thank you. Same to you, Tammy.
Thanks
Okay.
so much. Bye, everybody.
All right. Bye bye, everyone. Thank you again, Tammy. Bye bye.